Hello YouTubies, this is King Scribe and thank you for watching one of my amazing YouTube videos. So we're going to talk about chess in this video. I know some of you might find this a little bit tedious. Maybe I'm going to talk about some famous games, some famous moves. Maybe I'm going to talk about some positional play or some tactical amazing opening that most people in the world don't even know how to play chess. No. I'm going to talk about the attitudes of certain players while they're playing. Now, I've just been watching a chess game between, the past world champion Vishy Anand and Magnus Carlsen. After watching them, I mean, I've watched all 10 games now, and when I was watching them, every single game, Magnus Carlsen would be sitting in such a way, he would find new ways to sit. His legs were crossed like an old man. He was slouching like an old man. At one point he looked like he'd been sleeping. And then's looking up and going, "What the fuck is he doing?" He's playing a game, and you can hear his opponent snoring in the background with his feet up on the table. He's got one foot on one side of the board, another foot on this side of the board, and his feet are sticking in Anand's face, and Anand's there like this all the time, just like somebody trying to concentrate on a chess game. And Magnus Carlsen is just slouching back, fiddling around with a pawn in his hand or something like that, flicking in the air, catching it, swirling around on the seat, and even slouching in a certain way at times. It must have been a little bit off-putting for Anand to see his opponent do something like that, but this is the sort of thing we see chess players do all the time. And if you ever had a chess player that you're playing against this kid, this is how annoying some kids can be when you're playing chess, and the father is standing next to them, hovering over your game, looking at you and the kid, thinking, "My kid is amazing at playing chess. He's absolutely fantastic. Oh my God, he's going to beat you so bad." And they've got this grin on their face, even if the kid's in a losing position, thinking, "He knows what he's doing, my child. He's a genius. He's going to beat everybody in the world. Nobody's ever going to beat in one single game. My child is the best player of all time." I mean, come on. I've seen these chess players before. They're absolutely hilarious, and they're looking at their child as if they're going to be the next grandmaster or next world champion. Indeed, some of them might be, but I mean, come on. You're hovering over somebody's game, putting them off, and trying to egg on your child, and trying to put off your opponent. I mean, surely there's got to be some rules against that. It is very off-putting. Now, some of them don't really grow out of it. They're slouching in their chair, they've got their feet up on the table while you're playing chess, and you get some people in chess games who are actually just plain rude, which is one reason why I barely play nowadays. But I mean, most chess players are okay. It's just one or two of them. But when you see the top elite, they've got the feet up on the table, or you see, a spectator, and they come up to, a grandmaster's table, right? And the grandmaster might be rated. I mean, ratings as it's a bit like how can I say, cock size, right? So the smaller your rating in number, the smaller you are in size. That's what it means, guys. Right? So now you understand what I mean. 250 ECF might mean a good 8 inches, right? And an 1800. It might mean, a good 4 inches. That this is the big difference. So you can imagine, what would happen if an 1800 ELO player, or what we call 1800s, like a different rating system. Let's call an 1800 ELO is 150, right? 150 to 250 ECF. The 150 ECF approaches the grandmaster's table and looks at their game. That's a big insult for the grandmaster. For one thing, how dare you approach him? Or how dare a lower rated opponent approach a grandmaster's table? And low rated opponents smell differently. You're actually offensive to their eyes. In fact, there's certain tournament halls in the UK where they, they forbid low-rated opponents to be in the same tournament hall or even room as other strong players, because they insult the eyes of the stronger players. So what they tend to do is they put them downstairs in a dungeon somewhere so they can play along. Now people say, oh, it's not a dungeon. No, I mean, in comparison to the tournament hall, it's like a cupboard somewhere where they stick the low-rated opponents, players in. And sometimes a grandmaster might just come down and play them all simultaneously. Go, yeah, that's it, right? You've lost. And even if you get a better position against the grandmasters, they're like, I've clearly won this game, you might as well resign right now. And if you say, no, I've got things going on here, no, you haven't. What is your rating? What is your rating, mate? You've got nothing in this position. Oh, Arbiter, come here. He's trying to argue against me. I've got an 8-inch floppy. He's got a 4-incher. Who you go believe? And the arbiters obviously go believe the GM, because the more important person. So most GMs are not like that, by the way, but you do get one or two. You do feel like this, this case where a spectator walked up to Kasparov's board, and Kasparov's like, "What are you even doing here? What are you approaching my board for? How dare you be anywhere near me at this time? Don't approach me." I mean, if it was Karpov, right? Kasparov, it was Karpov. Karpov could have flopped this big 8 inches on your table, and even on your chessboard, and you would still be happy about it. He could come in, and he could, stick a can of Coke and a packet of crisp on your chessboard while you're playing. Shake it a bit and open it over the chessboard, and both players wouldn't mind. But how dare, a 150 ECF player approach, or 1600 ELO player, which is about 120 ECF, approach your table? That's a big sin. But Karpov's alright. You can go spray all the cocoa over the place, maybe sprinkle some salt on your table and pepper. You could definitely do that. In fact, you could just sit down there, open a packet of crisps and have a party. Shirov, come here and sit next to this table where we'll go have a laugh while we're watching these guys playing chess. If you don't believe me, right, take a look at Magnus Carlsen and Kasparov playing each other, right? And they're playing in two pairs. So Carlsen has got a team member and Kasparov's got a team member, and Maurice Ashley is speaking over them, saying what the moves are. He's not bothered that he can't concentrate because of the sound. He's like, oh yeah, you're right, you're a GM. You can shout down your microphone while I'm playing chess. But how dare 120 ECF player approach my board and say anything? And then Karpov comes up and says, why didn't you play D5 to get Carlsen? And Carlsen said, yeah, I agree, mate. If it had been me or anybody else, we would have been escorted out of the bloody building for doing something like that. But, it's okay for these players to, make a big racket in the tournament hall. You could never get a low-rated opponent doing that. Mind you, I'm not even rated, so it's even worse for me. It's even worse. How dare I be in the same city as one of those players? Alright, see you later. I thought I'd just have a laugh. Of course, congratulations to Carlsen for winning. Maybe we should all employ those, seating and posing styles you have while at the board. But I really enjoyed watching you play, especially the first and second game. I've seen many games like that in the minor sections of tournaments.